Hey everyone, I'm Carson Nielsen. I'm here with Viviana and
Hi.
We are the part of the Live Realty Group. We're based out of Central Alberta and we do real estate throughout Alberta. We get together every week and we talk about real estate related things. Mm-hmm. It's not always exciting, but it's super knowledgeable.
You ready, everybody? It's not always exciting, but
It's super knowledgeable. I mean, we got to let people know what we know.
Yeah, and if you're in the market and if you're interested in this kind of stuff and if you're interested in different communities, then you're probably going to want to pay attention to what's happening, not only in our community, but all the other communities, because we're all interrelated at the end of the day. Yeah. So, Bank of Canada.
Good news. No, but it's good news, I think.
It's good news if it's true. If it's true,
yeah.
Yeah.
So, as the Bank of Canada always goes, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to change our mind, we're going to do that, we're going to change our mind again.
Yeah.
Anyways, they announced that they predict that they predict that interest rates will be slashed in half by the end of 2025.
Yeah. So apparently we're doing good for inflation.
Yeah, well, they're saying that 2% inflation's like right there.
Yeah,
so
we're on track.
They're talking about doing our next decrease in April, which would be really exciting for people.
I think it's gonna. Well, I mean, it's tough enough to be a buyer in this market right now. If interest rates are slashed down to whatever they want to slash them down to, I think it's going to create another environment where it's going to be even tougher for buyers. The floodgates will open. We knew it was going to be a busy spring summer market to begin with, like it's already started.
Let's clarify that 2.5% is not this spring. That's like
by 2025.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So first rate cut happens in April.
Potentially. Maybe another one in June. Another one in July.
Yeah.
It won't be that fast. They do it quarterly or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But so that begs the question: do you wait to buy your house until these interest rates come down, or do you move forward with your house now and deal with the interest rate until rates come down?
What would you do?
Well, now I was always against variable mortgages, but now I think I would go into a variable mortgage. Because if the rates are really drastic, it's been a while that these rates are supposed to be coming down, I think I would take the risk that with that variable mortgage that those interest rates are going to come down. So I would move into that for a short term.
Yeah. Variable rate at like 3 years kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so too. I remortgaged in August and I just did a 3-year term.
Yeah.
Because there's nowhere to go but down.
Yeah.
Well, you could go up, but
yeah.
Yeah, I think that they're going to go down. I think that after 2025, hopefully, we will have a new government. And
one more year probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it'll take some time to get to where I'm comfortable with interest rates. That's just me. I'm sure that's a sentiment for a lot of other people as well.
Well, there's that silly saying. I call it silly, but it's like marry the house,
date the rate. Yeah,
but it is true. Like, do you wait until everybody has got that low interest rate and there's a buying frenzy, and so now you're pushing into a seller's market, so you're competing against other buyers and you're going into multiple offers? Or do you take where you can still negotiate the price of that house down? Because if we go into a hot market like that, prices are going to be going up.
Yeah, we're already in a market that favors sellers.
So is it more important to you to have your house now, or is it more important to have a lower rate in the future?
Yeah.
Whereas the house prices will probably go up with that lower rate. But so it's like pick and choose your poison, really. Yeah. Make the decision that's best based for you, I think.
Yeah. For me, if I was still a renter right now, I would just want to get into any starter home, be on a variable for a couple year term, and then, remortgage after that. But just to stop paying rent and stop paying somebody else's mortgage and just to try and build that equity while you still can.
Yeah.
Because I think it's just going to be tougher and tougher for buyers to, especially with immigration, especially with the demand that we're seeing, the population increase. Our population, we had immigration rates increase.
Oh, yeah, interprovincial.
They doubled.
Yeah.
From 2022 to 2023.
Yeah, 22,000-ish people to 45,000-ish people.
Yeah. And I remember when we were blown away that 19,000 people had moved into Alberta.
Yeah, the after COVID, it's weird how COVID has become a date and time.
Yeah, I know.
And everything is based off of pre-COVID
or
after COVID. Yeah, it's like the measure. Yeah, absolutely. Since then, COVID, benchmarking in Central Alberta has gone up 33%, well, 29 to 33%.
Yeah.
Like, that's a huge increase over 5 years. And I don't know that people realize that. I feel bad for buyers that think that housing is too expensive right now, so they're going to wait for the market to come down.
Yeah, it's not coming down.
No, there's too much demand for housing for those prices to come down.
Yeah. Alberta is very attractive for people as
Yeah.
well. Like, we have low taxes, right? We don't have,
GST only,
Yeah.
no provincial sales tax.
yeah. We don't have land transfer tax either.
And that's a huge one.
That's a huge one.
Big.
2% in BC for anything over $200,000. And like everything's over $200,000.
Well, you can get a mobile home for under 200,000.
Right. That's fair.
That's the only thing I could find for under 200,000.
Talk to me 5 years from now. I'm pretty sure those prices on the mobile homes are going to go up. Airdrie's mobile homes went crazy high in the last.
We sold one for how much just a month ago?
360,000.
Yeah.
360,000 for a mobile home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't foresee any of those being super affordable.
No.
5-10 years from now.
Nope.
But yeah, land transfer tax in Ontario, I think it's 2.5%, and that's for anything in that $2 million mark.
That's crazy.
Well, Quebec has a welcome tax. It's not called the land transfer tax.
Oh, we're going to be sneaky about
Welcome. Money, please.
the sneaky welcome tax.
Yes.
We're still taking money from you, but it's a welcome tax.
Lipstick
It makes
on a
you-
pig.
Make you feel better
Yeah, exactly.
about taking 2%.
Yeah, Nova Scotia has a deed transfer tax as well. So everywhere you go in Canada, it seems, has some sort of land transfer tax where the government will take money from you.
So I know this a long time ago since I thought about making a purchase in BC. Their land transfer tax is their second, I can't think of the word. Anyways, the number one source that BC has for income, the federal government as a province, most of their money comes from hospitality and tourism.
For sure.
In number two, it is land transfer tax. That is where the rest of their money comes from. That is the industry driver in Alberta or in BC is land transfer tax. Number three is logging.
Right, yeah.
So it's was at one point in time anyways. I find that just incredible.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's so wild.
Come to BC, we'll take your money.
Yeah. Bring cash.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, man. Good old BC. BC, speaking about BC, they just had a panel, 5 different mayors. So Mayor of Burnaby, Mayor of Langley, Mayor of Richmond, Mayor of Nelson, and Nanaimo got together because the federal government has been giving out money, right? Those housing incentives for different communities. So 5 of them got together and they were like, hey, listen, one big thing that we're actually concerned about, because the demand is here, the people are here. Yes, we can build more homes, but it's not necessarily going to make anything more affordable. And we're actually worried about infrastructure. Like, don't just push legislation and not consult anybody and not take feedback.
Right.
We need a say in this because there's a lot of other moving parts to this that need to be recognized.
The city itself can't sustain that quick of
an explosion in growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy. Like, the mayor of Richmond was actually, he basically said, like, we built 50% more homes based on population growth. So we actually matched population growth and we were doing a good job, and it had nothing to do with affordability. The prices on these homes actually increased on average 67%.
That's crazy.
So it didn't make anything more affordable. They had more housing, but because the demand outpaced the supply still, your prices went up.
Yeah, I mean, the government has said, I don't know how much money they said that they're going to dedicate to this affordable housing initiative.
Billions.
But they gave Edmonton 178 million.
Yeah, something like that. 172.
$2 billion in Quebec. Mm-hmm. It's funny how all the money goes to places that he might be able to get a vote in.
Tell me how you really feel.
I'm sure that's
how we all
that's
feel.
how everybody
Honestly.
feels.
Yeah.
That's how everybody feels.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is the primary cause for everything that we've experienced in the past 5 years. So,
I don't disagree.
Anyhow,
Sylvan Lake got some of that money as well.
I'm really interested in to see how these things move forward. I know there was a builder who, prior to this announcement, you could get grants and tax forgivable grants as well to build affordable housing, but you have to jump through so many hoops. 10% of the properties that you build have to remain
Affordable.
rentals.
Yeah, affordable rentals.
Yeah, and you have to prove that they will be affordable for the next 10 years.
Yeah. I don't remember if they actually said affordable or if they said it had to be low income. Either way, like it's to address affordability and to
Yes.
accommodate for low income or even
Well, affordable though is the government's term for affordable is 30% of the median income.
yeah.
So you have to be able to afford something based, and I believe the median income is $35,000.
Holy smokes. Yeah.
35. Yeah, it's not much.
Yeah.
I'd have to look that number up again. 35 or 65 sticks in my head for some reason.
Yeah. I know that they did address housing for adults in need. So people in need and low income. And that was just kind of lumped together. But basically, when you crunch the numbers, and you and I have looked at these numbers too, it's like you have to be a nonprofit. Like you have
Yeah.
to be some sort of organization that can donate a building
Yeah.
to make this actually work. Because the price of building costs, like lumber costs, all that kind of stuff, the cost to import, the cost to ship and transport, and then construction costs alone, you know, your labor and all that kind of stuff has gone up too. So everything has gone up. Your margins are super slim as a builder to begin with.
Yeah.
So if you are a builder addressing affordability,
How many builders went under in central Alberta after
exactly.
COVID?
Exactly.
Right? Like they just couldn't afford to build.
Yeah.
The house, like they couldn't compete with the resale market.
Mm-hmm.
The new price, the cost of everything just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
You know, now they're having an easier time because the resale market has caught up and is very close now to where builders can compete with what the resale market is.
Yeah. There's a lot of moving parts.
A lot of moving parts. Yeah.
Yeah. The idea, and the Burnaby mayor said it best, that building, what was it? The idea that supply will lead to affordability is an absolute fallacy.
I think you'd have to have a lot of supply all at once.
Yeah, you would have to flood the
It would
market.
have to be like, boom,
Yeah,
here we go. And
And-
that would drop prices.
that would destroy the market.
It would destroy the market. It would wreak havoc on the market for sure.
Yeah. Well, we thought, I think it was during COVID, maybe one of those years during COVID, when in that 3-year time span, where people were worried about foreclosures flooding the market, because so many people were
People
in a
were
bad spot.
people were predicting that there would be a lot of foreclosures.
Yeah.
But then it's funny. It's almost like it was mapped out because Trudeau he implemented that stress test for interest rates.
Mm-hmm.
So people were they were pre-qualifying at 1.5% plus 2%.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they were actually qualifying for 3.5% instead of what they did. So it's almost like he foresaw what was going to happen.
I don't think that man can foresee anything, honestly.
No.
Yeah. But yeah, the point was that the foreclosures that we knew were going to happen
Mm-hmm.
and all of the calls that you and I got to try and help people figure out what their next move was in the situations that they were in, I think the majority of buyers out there were like, oh, I'm going to wait for the market to tank because all the foreclosures are going to happen all at once. And that is never going to happen.
Nope.
It's not in the bank's best interest to drop a whole bunch of foreclosures and flood the market and essentially tank their own prices.
Yeah.
They'll release them little bits at a time if they come to fruition.
Yeah.
And you and I both know that the foreclosure process takes a little while to get to come on the market anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those would get snapped up now.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so. There's a lot of people that want to buy houses this year, from
A
what
lot.
I hear.
Yeah. So I read a study, who knows who the study was done by. But anyways,
CMHC.
the 4.4 million people are planning to buy a house within the next 5 years.
Yeah.
People are, and their main concern is finding housing. They find it, 40% said it's a good investment. Then we get down to like 20-ish% are tired of paying their landlord, making their landlord money. Another thing is people are willing to go where they can live affordable.
Yeah.
They're not worried about the macroeconomics, about keeping their job or any of that stuff.
No.
Everybody's got to pay rent,
Yeah.
no matter what, right?
Yeah.
So people are starting to say, let's pay ourselves.
Yeah. The mayor of Langley brought up a good point in that panel that I was talking about,
Yeah.
because those smaller communities are now getting flooded with people.
Yeah.
Like that migration is happening. You can't stop it. It is what it is. But the infrastructure that they're really concerned about is like, how do we address this now? everybody's kind of panicking, I think, and these legislative Band-Aids
Yeah.
are not completely well thought out. They're just like, what's the short-term solution? Okay, throw this at it. Throw this at the problem. Throw this at the problem.
Yeah.
And it's,
Make it look like we're doing something.
yes, there is that.
Yeah.
But I guess my point was that these smaller communities, I mean, it's not only immigration that's happening, it's like people who are already in those communities just trying to get out of their parents' house.
Yeah.
First-time home buyers, like you said, people who are renting already from a landlord somewhere and don't want to pay somebody else's mortgage. But yeah, the influx is going to be huge. We're in for a really busy spring, summer this year and next year.
Yeah.
I think
I think this is going to be long term.
What is?
The demand for housing is long term.
Yeah.
Like until it's long term. There's so many people coming to Canada. Mm-hmm. There's a big it's a long term game now.
Canada is great.
Yeah.
Alberta is beautiful.
Alberta's amazing.
Yeah, and very likely more affordable than any other place in Canada for the amenities that we have and the accessibility and all the other good stuff.
Quality of life plus affordability?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think Alberta was I bet you if they did a study, you'd find Alberta's probably number one, quality of life and affordability.
I think so.
Absolutely.
Not a biased opinion at all.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm from BC originally. I wouldn't go back now. We got beautiful lakes and mountains and trees. But, like you said, bring cash.
Yes. BC, bring cash. Yeah, cool. Well, I think that wraps it up for us for now. Thanks for joining us. Come join us next week if you like what you see here.
We'll talk more about exactly what is happening with this affordable housing program that the government's put into place, and we'll see what that looks like with Sylvan Lake.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week from what I learned on Wednesday.
Yeah.
All right. See you next time.
Bye.